of our team, what they did this year was really was amazing. You know, the comeback that we had and having the nation's biggest turnaround and just seeing the improvement that a lot of individual players made was special to be a part of. And unfortunately, you know, it came to an end today, which we knew at some point it would. But you know, very, very proud of what we did, and you know, just sad to see it end. I could coach these guys for another 56 games if they let me. But unfortunately, you know, ran into a good Wright State team. They're a very good club. You can see why they were a number 3 seed and won over 40 games. And you know, just wasn't our day, as you could tell with the line drives we were hitting right at guys and some of the plays they were making. It was their day today, and we got to tip our hats to them. But I celebrate what we did this year. I celebrate our players and our team, and that's what I'm going to walk away with coming out of this regional.
Questions for the student athletes?
Jake, and for Logan, for this matter, what was your feelings about this weekend with rain delays and line drives hit right at people, some tough breaks Friday? How do you feel about the last 3 days? Do you take a long-term view? Do you get caught up in the short-term disappointment?
I mean, well, yeah, we're clearly disappointed because you always want to win the game, but at the same time, I feel like we did all we could do. And, you know, at the end of the day, like Coach said, you just got to tip your cap. They made all the plays they needed to play, or they made all the plays they needed to make. And unfortunately for us, they just came out on top today.
I mean, it's disappointing going 2-0, but it was a good experience for the guys because it's like uncharted territory for Ohio University. And it's we're no longer the hunted, we're the hunter, I guess.
Today's ball game, Jake, you kind of agree with Coach. It seemed like you guys had some good at-bats, good swings early this afternoon that didn't work out, and once he got settled in, it became a lot tougher.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like our hitters 1 through 9, I feel like we were all seeing it today. I mean, we had balls like smashed in the gap, and they just made plays. And you know, it's frustrating as a hitter because you go up there and you come out of the game saying, man, I could have been 4 for 4 today, but some of our guys were 0 for 4 with 4 hard hit balls. I mean, that's the game though, and like I said, it's frustrating, but I mean, you got to tip your cap, and it's even more frustrating that it happened in this game, for sure.
Jake, what was it like
to go over 20 hours and within the same game to have that long pause in between? Was that really tough for you guys to sort of get back into it?
I honestly think it would have been more tough if we'd have came back and played last night. I think they kind of had momentum coming out of the game last night, and I mean, today was kind of like a fresh start. I mean, our goal was to, you know, win a 5-1 game, 5-1 7-inning game, as Coach said, but unfortunately, you know, it didn't go our way.
Logan, how bad did you want to get the last 2 outs?
I mean, as my last go around, I wanted it pretty bad. I mean, I was talking to Coach. I just wanted to finish the game. It's disappointing, but you know, I'm proud of the team for the effort they gave, and it's baseball.
Jake, can you just both of you describe to me what it was like walking off the field for the last time in an Ohio uniform?
I mean, it's tough. The struggles we've been through as a team, just all these guys have been through them the past 2 years, and to get to this point, looking back in a few weeks, we'll probably be happy about what we did this season, but right now it's a little disappointing.
Yeah, like Logan said, obviously we're competitors, and we wanted to win both games this weekend, but it didn't happen. But, you know, you got to look back, and we were picked to finish last in our conference this year. And just to be at this stage, I mean, even for the younger guys, what an experience it's been. And, you know, for my senior year, it's pretty special.
Did you get a sense it wasn't going to be your day when you had those 2 line drive smashes to third early? It seemed like a good chance to get positive momentum. And
you know, I mean, not at that point I didn't. You know, and as the game continued on and it started to become more apparent that it was getting difficult to score runs. But I felt confident with some of those swings we had early that we would we would break through. Obviously, their guy on the mound's a really, really good competitor, and he did a good job coming back and grinding through some innings. But I felt good about our guys' swings, and we felt that we were going to break through at some point.
Were you surprised to see him out there for 6 more innings after he threw 40 pitches yesterday?
I was. Yeah, I was surprised. That's a testament to that kid's, tenacity, to come back and be able to compete like that. He did a really, really good job. We were barreling balls up, and that he didn't waver. He continued to attack the zone, and I got to tip my hat to the kid. That was a great effort by him.
You and the guys all sort of touched on this, but in the context of the turnaround, and how do you feel right now about the job that you've done and your players have done this season?
I'm proud of it. Yeah, I'm proud of just what the kids did, their ability to completely flip their brains. We asked them to stay focused on positive things coming into the year, and they were very motivated and bought in and just completely flipped the culture. And I'm hoping it's something we can use for momentum moving forward. To see a team that was, pretty much doubted by everybody, within our league and rightfully so for a lot of reasons. I mean, you consider what we had done the previous 2 years. We knew internally there were some things coming, though. We knew there were some guys getting healthy. We saw some improvement coming along in certain guys, and I'm not surprised that they were able to accomplish this. I knew this was coming about midway through the fall. I could really see something different, and they certainly fulfilled that, and I couldn't be more proud of what they've accomplished. I've been a part of some good teams, but I'm not sure I've been a part of a team that's as special as this one as far as what they had to go through to get to the point where they're at.
What was that conversation like with Logan in the ninth inning?
Taking him out? It was tough. Yeah, he's meant a lot to our program. I'll say that. Yeah, that was a tough one. I wasn't going to let him go back out there in the ninth, but he said he wanted to finish it, and I just said, well, I'm going to let you go hitter to hitter, and at that point, I just felt it was the time to get him out of the game, and he deserved the standing ovation he got, and so yeah, he's a warrior, man. He was a big reason this team transformed. Not only did he just transform himself, obviously, if you look at what he's done as an individual player, just the turnaround that he's had from really, a third baseman who became a converted pitcher out of necessity because we didn't have any arms our first year. He didn't question it. He just did it. He was a successful hitter. We didn't really have him hit a whole lot. He never questioned it. And then he made a commitment, to make himself the best pitcher he can be. And with that, I think he really set the tone for our team in a lot of ways. And it just, he's a massive reason this thing's flipped. And I have a lot of respect for that kid, no doubt.
Give an update on Cody. Was it
just a bruise? Yeah, I mean, just right off the knee, just a bad bruise. He's going to feel it for a little bit, but I think he's going to be okay.
Do you talk to Logan about draft status now? I mean, does it flip that switch that quickly for you? Or?
I hope we're talking about draft status, yeah, because if that kid doesn't get drafted, it'll be a massive disappointment, in my opinion. He didn't start to get attention really until the very end of the year. Some scouts started to really take it seriously, and then into the conference tournament. Yeah, I mean that's really what makes that kid special too. Is he's not said one thing to me about the draft. I mean he's been so focused on his team. He's not had a selfish thought in his brain. And not that that's a bad thought for a kid to have. I hope they all want to play professional baseball, but all he cared about was his team getting better. That's the only thing that kid cared about the entire year, and he should be rewarded with the opportunity to keep playing baseball because he's earned it, and he's carried himself in a manner that if I'm a scout, man, I don't hesitate to put that kid out there. I don't hesitate to put him in my organization and let him go out and compete for me.
You touched on Logan, but just what has Jake Madsen meant to this program, and what do you think his future is in baseball?
Same thing. Jake deserves a shot. He's the thing that's been really awesome about Jake is to see him just kind of open himself up. I mean, he very reserved kid, as you guys that are around him most of the time know, and very even keel player. And some of the most fun I had last weekend in Avon as we went through the conference tournament was watching him play with some of the emotion that he played with. That was a kid that, our last 2 years we weren't very good, and it was hard to emotionally invest in the situations we were in. And, I know he has a strong motivation to want to play professionally. That's been a big goal of his, and he's earned it. He deserves it. But it was really neat to see him play the way that he's played, and not just the hits, because he's been getting those since he stepped on campus, but he's helped other players on our team. He's helped other hitters on our team. He's made a difference in that way, and that was what I was hoping for him over the last couple years as we've coached him. There wasn't a whole lot I was going to tell him about hitting. I probably learned as much about hitting from him as anybody. But it was that other stuff I was really hoping he'd grow in, and he did. He did grow in that way, and he made us a lot better, not just with his hitting, but just his leadership and his style that he does it.
You talked about having a 3-year plan with this team, which obviously has come to fruition now. So what does next year and then the years afterward look like?
Well, you hope that it's, continued improvement. I mean, what this team did this year, there's so many things. I'll get with our sports info guy, and he'll fill me in on all the milestones. But, I mean, there's been a lot of things done this year that haven't been done in Ohio in a long, long time. So it's hard. It's tough. It's tough to win a conference championship. It's really, really hard to get to a regional. I've been fortunate enough to be now at 4 of them. And, after you get done with one, man, you ask yourself, man, how are we going to do this again? Because it's so challenging. But my hope is that the younger players and the kids returning in our program now start to really understand what this whole process is about. We talked about it from the first day that we arrived, but I don't think they really had an understanding of it. They didn't fully understand what we were talking about. And, as I told our guys, even heading into our conference tournament and certainly heading into this regional, you hear a lot of talk about the student-athlete experience, This is that experience. I mean, this is what you do all that stuff for, all the time in the weight room, all the time on the practice field, the commitment, the sacrifices, to experience what this team has had a chance to experience the last 2 weeks. That, for me, is what that experience is. And you hope that after they get a little taste of it, that, that extra time that they have to spend maybe in the weight room, or that motivation to go hit on their own in the cages, or the decisions they make off the field to represent their program, all those things, you hope it comes back to this time, and because they want to experience this again and be a part of something special like this. That's where programs grow, and I hope that this is a big step forward for us as we move into the future years.